Welcome to Just a Minute. Hello, my name is Nicholas Parsons. And as the minute waltz fades away, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to this special edition of Just a Minute from the BBC Television Centre. This year, Just a Minute will reach its 45th birthday. And to celebrate those many years of radio success, we have taken over your television screens. So without further ado, please welcome to the show those four talented and exceptional show business personalities. And they are, seated on my right, Paul Merton and Shappi Khorsandi, and seated on my left, Julian, Clary and Stephen Fry. Please welcome all four of them. Pairs will try to speak for just a minute on the subject that I give them, and they must try and do that without hesitation, repetition or deviation. The other three panellists can challenge at any time they wish, and if I uphold that challenge, they gain a point. If not, the person speaking gains a point and continues to speak on the subject. And by the way, they can repeat the subject on the card. Paul, the subject here is excuses for being late. You have 60 seconds as usual, Paul, and your time starts now.
Perhaps one of the best excuses for being late is being late. If you are dead, you can't be expected to keep appointments. Other excuses which are wonderful are to refer to outside phenomena. God at my homework, you might say, on the way to theological college. Or indeed, the tsunami was so great coming down Streatham High Street.
Stephen, you challenged.
I was a repetition of great.
Yes, probably. I don't listen to what I'm saying. It's hard enough coming out with it in the first place.
So, Stephen, you have a correct challenge. You get a point for that, of course. You take over the subject. There are 40 seconds available, and the time starts now.
I suppose the disrepair of some sort of horological device like a watch or chronometer would be a reasonable excuse for being late. It stopped, it was retarded in some fashion, and I wasn't able to tell the time and thought that I was being punctual. As a matter of fact, I was horrifically late, and I'm embarrassed and ashamed. It's not an excuse, it's a reason. And sometimes the two are confused. An excuse is...
hello. Paul challenged.
Oh, there was a tiny hesitation.
Yeah. There was a definite hesitation,
Definitely.
Yes. He stumbled over the words, so we call that hesitation. So, Paul, you get a point for that. Correct challenge. 18 seconds are still available, and your time starts now.
There was a boy at school who specialised in being late virtually every day of the week, and he had the most fantastic reasons for his poor timekeeping. Excuse me, sir, I got my foot caught in a drain. There was an explosion at the gasometers and I was helping police with casualties. These were genuinely things that he would come in and say.
Well, as I said before, whoever is speaking when the whistle goes gains an extra point, and it's Paul Merton, so he's taken the lead at the end of the first round. And who's going to begin the next round? Oh, Shappi. Yes, a lovely subject. The moon. Tell us something about the moon in just a minute, starting now.
When I was a little girl at school, they told us that the moon was made of cheese. This is more of a comment on my education than the actual moon itself. It's not made of that substance at all. I've always suspected it's made.
And Julian's challenge.
Repetition of made.
Yes, made.
Does it count that if the second time in my head I misspelt it?
No, darling, we can't stretch it as far as that. So, Julian, you have a correct challenge. You get a point for that, of course. And you have the subject of the moon, and there are 45 seconds available, starting now.
Those of us who are rustic people, of course, know that the moon lights up the sky and makes everything absolutely gorgeous. In the city, you don't really see it. There are street lights. You may peer up towards the sky and see something vaguely yellowish. However, if you...
Stephen challenge.
There were two C's in there.
Yes, you see there.
I feel such a bully and I don't want to.
I understand.
Oh, thank you.
You can't help it.
No, Stephen, those are the rules of the game.
You're right, you're right.
That's fine. And you've got a correct challenge, another point, and you have 32 seconds starting now.
La Luna. It's often considered a symbol of femininity. The silvery, reflective quality has in mythology and symbology for many years been seen as somehow...
Julian challenge.
Is there a word like... I'm sure there is. Symbology.
Yes, there is. I'm afraid it became... I'm afraid it became awfully popular with that dreadful Dan Brown book because the character that Tom Hanks played in the film was actually a symbologist. That was his profession.
Yes, just a yes will do.
Oh, sorry.
I'll use it now.
So, Julian, at last, but we did enjoy hearing from you, and we loved the interruption, but Stephen was interrupted. He gets a point for an incorrect challenge, and he keeps the subject. 21 seconds available, starting now.
In the magnificent extended poem by John Keats, Endymion, the moon falls in love with this beautiful youth who lies naked and the silvery light is cast upon him.
Shappi challenge.
I think you said silvery
Do you know I
before.
did?
Yes, you
Didn't I?
did.
Yes, you did. Well, listen, Shappi.
Silvery moon.
Shappi, you have a correct challenge. You have a point for that, of course. There are 11 seconds, and you take over the subject of the moon, starting now.
By the light of the silvery moon, I want to spoon. With my honey I croon love's tune. Which is a song that we learnt at school.
And Stephen challenge.
Well, in her first little speech, she told us that at school she was
It
told
was a different school.
No, it doesn't matter. No, Shappi, I think you've justified it. And I'm glad you have. Because there's only half a second to go. And it would be very unfair to take it away from you at that particular moment. So it was an incorrect challenge. You get a point for that. And you've got the moon. And whichever school you went to, whichever half a second, starting now.
The moon on a stick?
So Shappi Khorsandi was speaking as a whistle Wayne gained that extra point, and the situation is that she's now equal in the lead with Stephen Fry. The other two are just behind. Wow. There's very little difference in the points, and Julian, we'd like you to begin the next round. The subject is, the front row of this audience. Lord. They're all sort of straightening themselves up now and twitching a bit. 60 seconds as usual, starting now.
Now, when I look at the front row of this audience, the word casual springs to mind. There is a woman over there wearing burgundy corduroy trousers, which, frankly, is a mistake. And I can't see anyone amongst you who has seen an iron in the last week. Can I say the word shampoo, madam? And you, with the curly hair, is your hair naturally that way?
Stephen, you've challenged.
2 hairs, curly hair is your hair.
Yes,
sorry.
2 hairs.
I'm loath to take over the subject, but nonetheless, I do my best.
Well, we've had some of Julian's comments. Let's hear yours on the front row of the audience. And 39 seconds still available, Stephen, starting now.
Do you know, when I took my seat, I thought, have I arrived at a beauty pageant? And are these the contestants lined up before me? It's a marvellous mixture. They're very keen. They're the first to have got here, presumably. They queued up a long time ago, and that's why they're in such a state, because the weather isn't very good outside.
Julian, you've challenged.
Well, we had 2 theys and 2 theirs.
Yes, we did.
Wow.
Succession.
Wow. Tough challenge, but correct.
Yeah.
Well, pardon me, symbology.
No, symbology.
Symbology is it?
So, you have a symbolic challenge there, and you have the subject back again, Julian, and we'd love to hear more from you on the front row of the audience. 24 seconds available, starting now.
You've all perked up somewhat, but can I say the word posture to these 2 at the front? Are you members of a boy band that we ought to know about? And you, are you going out with anybody that we need to know? I don't have time to pause for the answer.
Stephen challenge
2
again.
needs to know there, I'm
2
afraid.
needs to know, yes. Stephen, you've got him with 11 seconds to go on the front row of the audience, and your time starts now.
The colours range from pastel to deep viridian green there. I see a brown, I see a rather pleasant... I see
yes.
too many things, don't I?
Julian, you challenge first. You
Repetition of C.
I see.
It's a
yes.
sea of colour.
A sea of colour. The front row of the audience is still the subject, and there are 6 seconds available with Julian starting now.
Do you worry about your head? Because you needn't.
Sorry, I thought he was going to say hair. Deviation, he didn't say hair.
Everyone on the front row's turned purple.
No. But they're also crossing the hands like this. Right. So it was an incorrect challenge,
it
yes?
was an incorrect
So, Julian,
challenge,
another
absolutely.
point to you. 4 seconds are still available. The front row of this audience, starting now.
You do have a lovely head of skin, if I may say so. And between you and me and the gatepost...
Right. So, Julian Clary was then speaking as the whistle went, gained that extra point for doing so, and he's in the lead now with Stephen Fry, and the other two are only 1 or 2 points behind. And, Stephen, we'd like you to begin the next round. Oh, the subject, you might have some knowledge on this. Writer's block. 60 seconds as usual, starting now.
Well, sometimes the words simply don't come. There's a sort of verbal constipation that afflicts authors of all kinds, poets, playwrights, novelists. It's a terrible condition because sometimes they have achieved a huge amount in their chosen profession and are expected to produce all kinds of work each year, and then nothing. I lived in an apartment block which was J. McInerney's and Timberlaker, Worton Baker's and... Such an odd name, isn't it? It was a hesitation, I think.
Yes, it was indeed.
It was a hesitation.
Yes.
Julian, you've got in again with 33 seconds to go on writer's block, starting now.
I had writer's block once and I invested in an enema which shifted it very, very quickly. The words flowed freely.
And Paul challenged.
What flowed freely? I've read one of his books, he's right.
Yeah.
Oh, the words! Oh, the words, I do beg your pardon.
Which one have you read?
Oh, it's probably the one called Murder Most Fad.
Thank you.
That was a lucky guess, wasn't it?
Oh, give him a point.
Well, the audience did enjoy your interruption, so we
Yes.
give you a bonus point for
thanks
that.
very much.
Right. But, Julian, you were interrupted,
He was, yeah.
so you get a point for that, and you still have 27 seconds. Tell us something about writer's block, starting now.
Writer's block is terribly frustrating. It's like looking at a blank page and nothing is swimming before you. Eventually, you may wander into the garden, look around at the trees, and perhaps the birds singing will inspire you, and that thrush will wave its way down to the...
Paul, you challenged.
Hesitation.
It was a hesitation. Yes, he was keeping going magnificently, but there are still 10 seconds available, and it's with you, Paul Merton. The writer's block starting now.
Writer's block, or a desk if you prefer. An object you need to lean on, drawers with pencils inside, perhaps an eraser, and then issues of paper in front of you.
So Paul Merton is then speaking as a whistle when gained that extra point, and the situation is that Julian's now in the lead. Oh, he's 2 points ahead of Stephen, 3 or 4 ahead of Paul and Shappi. And Paul, it's your turn to begin. Oh, the subject, this is a fascinating one. My robot butler. 60 seconds starting now.
My robot butler's a marvellous invention. He gets me up at 6:30 in the morning, does a few logarithms, presses my trousers, and then breakfast is served. He's called Boris, and he's based on the Mayor of London. He walks in, a wonderful creature. I can hear his wheels going across the wooden floorboard. His metallic voice croaks out to me, "Good morning, sir. How'd you like a boiled egg?" And I say to him, of course, perhaps even 2 of those delicious chicken products would be great. How would you like it done? I would like it...
Julian challenge.
2 likes.
There's 2 people talking. The robot's saying one thing, I'm saying the other. I can't control the robot.
No, you deserve a round of applause for that, but Julian, your challenge.
2 likes.
2 likes, yes.
Like,
No, yes, right. So, Julian, you got in again with 30 seconds to go. My robot butler starting now.
My robot butler is called
Paul challenge.
Was that robot baba? It sounded like that. Did it sound like the eunuch?
It did sound like that to me, but I think he really got enough clarity to know
enough
what
clarity, did he?
Yes.
OK.
So, Julian, the benefit of the doubt, and if I can redress the balance sometime later, Paul, I'll give it back to you. You have 29 seconds. Robot butler starting now.
She looks gorgeous in dungarees and her hair is just about shoulder length, which is what I like. She's based on Abby Titmuss, for whom I've got an inkling that I've been a fan for many, many...
Well, lying for a start, but also... big fan of... repetition.
Yes, many,
Yeah,
right.
many.
So, Paul, you got in, and we're back with you on the robot butler, and you have 17 seconds starting now.
I've got a robot butler, and what he does... Well, then who buzzed then? Who buzzed then?
Shappi buzzed. Come
I
on, Shappi.
buzzed. I'm not sure if what you said was...
I said what Julian said. Like, this is where I get the benefit of the doubt.
No, Julian just was... Yours was...
That's repetition.
I know it is.
There's a lot of
Repetition.
babas.
Yeah, with too many bubbers.
Too many babas.
Far too many bubbers.